A5. I'm trying to go from 0 to 2000 elo in chess within 30 days. And today there is a special surprise about the openings. Let's go. And there we go. I play e4. So what's the surprise for the openings? I don't know if I can actually go for it. Okay, never mind. You know this by now. When your opponent doesn't push a pawn in the center with c5, d5, or e5, you put a BBC, big boy center. Now, they went with a knight out. We also go with a knight out. So, I think I will reveal you an insane and easy way to attack your opponent against this type of openings. So, you play bishop e3, and you play queen d2. You're ready to go long castle. And once your opponent will go with short castle, you will play f3, g4, h4, h5, g5, and you go for a huge attack. Now the opponent is playing the move d5, so I will just push here, and I'm controlling a very nice square, the square on f6. So the knight cannot go on f6. Now my opponent is developing. I should also start to develop my pieces, so I will go with the bishop out, and then with the knight here or there, not sure where. And now my plan changes a little bit because there is this blocked pawn structure. This is the pawn structure typical of the French. And I give you an important tip. The pawns are like an arrow. They show you where you have to attack. So look at this. This is the arrow, and this is my arrow. So I have to attack towards the king side, and my opponent has to attack towards the queen side. And how to attack? Push and baby. You have to push the pawn, go with f4, g4. Okay, my opponent is playing actually the move f5, which is the blockers. The move that you do to block the attack because you're blocking this bishop. But in this case, I have a secret move, which is en passant, baby. Now, this bishop is free to go there, especially now that my opponent played the move h6, which was a mistake because the square is left very weak. Now, I will keep going with my plan. I will go with the knight out, then I will castle long, and then I will try probably to play still the move f5. So maybe bring the rooks to the e file, to the f file. Remember, the rooks belong to open files. And when there are no open files, what is an open file? It's a file where there is no pawn in it. But in this game, there are no open files, but there are semi-open files. So are those where there is just one pawn. And that's why the rooks are super placed in the E and F file right now, because those are the only semi-open files. I have successfully developed all my pieces in this position, right? Bishops, knight, queen, castled. Now it's time for the rooks. Now there is an important moment. The knight is attacking the bishop, but this bishop is considered the bad boy because the bishop is blocked by his own pawns, and so it's not really so active. So we can let my opponent take it, but there is a little problem, is that these three pieces are attacking this pawn, and this pawn is protected just 1 and 2 times, but there could be a giga trick. So I'm just bringing the rook here, and let's see if my opponent is going to fall for the trick. Actually I have to change the term. This is not a trick. It's like, a trick is a move that is bad if your opponent plays the best move. But this is just a bad trap, let's put it that way. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you, but I will tell you more during this video about the difference between a trap and a good move. Here we play the move g4, we ask to this knight, what do you want to do with your life? And the knight decides to take there. Now I'm taking here, and my opponent needs to be very careful, because they could be they could be tempted about taking this free little pony or this free little pony, but taking both of them is a huge mistake. Can you find out why? If queen takes, what's the move? As a rook. We have it. Okay, well, I'll show you. So this is a discovery check. I was shortly scared that the knight could take this rook and protect the queen, but that's not possible. So this is a discovery check. I'm giving a check, and now I'm winning the queen. And so we are winning the game. Well, not yet, but we have 4 points. And how to win this? The easiest way is to trade pieces. So to play bishop here, we are going to trade this bishop. Oh, that's a free piece now. Because we take with check, that's the problem. Yeah, now we are +7. which is quite big. The queen is under attack, so we have to move the queen away. This pawn is now also kind of under attack. Anyway, when you are material up, trading is the easiest way to win. Or you could just start an attack against the king, and as you have much more pieces, you're going to probably succeed. I will go for both things at the same time. So when I can trade, I trade. When I can go for the attack, I go for the attack. It's a good combination of things. Now I'm taking here, I'm attacking this bishop, so I'm offering a trade because the knight could take back. And if I can't trade, I'm trading. But also this knight is in the center of the board and is so strong. The knight could go here. Now I shouldn't take there because the pawn is protected by the king. But let's say that I can attack it one more time with the queen, then it could be like nearly checkmate. Okay, my opponent is taking there. I could take here or there. If I take the bishop, my opponent is taking this knight, so I will just stay there. Now they go there to pin, but I have a super nice move, which is knight c6. Is it so good though? Actually, it was a mistake. Okay, my opponent didn't trust me, but now I'm threatening checkmate. They had to take and then take here. And now, guys, I have, oh my god! Checkmate with 2 knights! That's ultra rare, guys. Oh my god. That was super fun. We have a new game. Okay, e4, e5, that's always what I play. And now, guys, I reveal to you what I want to do during this video. I want to show you what a gambit is. So we'll go with the knight there. Now, my opponent is attacking this pawn. I'm counter-attacking this other pawn. Will my opponent take here? If they take it, we have it. No. Well, maybe I will not show you what a gambit is. It's okay. So we'll now protect this pawn. Okay, my opponent made a big mistake. So look at this. They pushed first c3 and then d4. So they pushed the same point twice. And now this pawn is no longer defending this one. So this is a mistake. Now, what to do? It could be maybe that my opponent is playing the gambit. But it's not a good one. Okay, if I take here, they are counter-attacking this pawn. So it's not like super good for me. On the other side, I could take first here, pawn takes, and then go with the bishop here, attacking this very vulnerable point. Bishop e3, I take. Wait a second. Okay, I'll take here. Yeah, let's go. And because after pawn takes, I think my bishop here could be very strong. Now, my opponent could actually take also with the knight first. So in order to trade the knights, let's see what I do. I saw something very nice. Oh, they are pushing. Okay. I'm thinking about sacrificing here something and playing bishop c5. Because if my opponent, well, okay, my opponent would take there. But there is a kind of checkmate idea. Okay, but we are not going to do that. Okay, I will do a very sad move, but I think I have to. I will go with the knight all the way back. I know that it's very sad, but I don't want to go with the knight here and block my bishop from going out. I want to be ready to face knight take e5 with the move bishop c5, attacking this little pony on f2. Now, if my opponent plays the move bishop e3 to defend, they are in big trouble. Do you see why? Well, the reason is that after bishop takes, I'll show you, bishop takes, pawn takes, now the king is naked on this diagonal, so I can slide with my queen all the way to h4. This is a very typical chess tactic. Write it down. Well, just remember it. Now, this pawn is pinned. Is not really protecting his friend because the rook behind is hanging. So I can take here with the knight. I'm attacking the rook. If the pawn takes, I'm taking the rook, and I'm threatening so many discovery checks. So if the rook just moves here, I can move this knight anywhere, and I'm giving a check with the queen. So I have to try to move the knight in the square. It's more painful for my opponent. Okay, that's a very smart move, because they are going back with the knight, attacking the queen. If I now move this knight, taking here, they can take my queen. So what to do? I could just bring my queen back here, and, well, this pawn is still pinned because the rook is still hanging. But I also have an additional idea, is to go with the queen here by giving a check. If my opponent covers with the knight or with the queen, I can either take the queen and then take the rook, and if they cover with the knight, I can take the rook directly. The question is, after this, what if they cover with the pawn? Well, then I have a very nice move, queen take b2, and I'm attacking two rooks at the same time, one with the knight and one with the queen. So I think this move is really strong. I just go with the queen to the other side of the board, giving a check. I expect the move c3 here, honestly, because it seems like, okay, my opponent is attacking the queen and the knight at the same time. But unfortunately for them, I can take here, and then the two rooks are under attack. Okay, the knight covered means that we can take the rook. Okay, the bishop goes out. I think we can just now castle and try to bring out all the other pieces. Remember, when you wrap material, trades are good for you. So d6 would be a good move. We're offering a trade of bishops. Also bringing out this knight is very important. There is a temptation once you have some sort of attack or an advantage or the queen out. There are so many players that go with the queen out and they want to win with the queen alone, but you never win with the queen alone. There is no way, just no way. So it's very important to bring out all the toys, all the pieces. Okay, there we go, d6, and we are looking at the bishop. Do you want to trade? I think there is a chance, okay, I was saying, I think there is a chance that they blunder it, but they didn't. Yeah, epic fail. Okay, so now we have to bring the knight to the action. We have to bring, I mean, if there is a way, there is something that has priority here, and is to bring this knight back. But now we cannot really access those two squares, which are the only square where the knight can go. So we can't bring the knight back. Now, my opponent is doing really smart to attack here, and I think I have to let the knight go. Yeah, but we'll develop the other one. It's okay. Okay. This knight is leaving us, but he was a hero because he took the rook. So it's okay. We'll bring the knight out. And now, I have a question. What is the next... Let's say my opponent plays an X move, any move, not attacking any of my pieces. What is the next move you play? You gotta bring the rooks to the open file. There is not really a very open file, but there is the semi-open file, the E semi-open file, where we are attacking this vulnerable pawn. So actually, my next moves are going to be a rook here, and then to bring the rook up and to double both rooks on the E file. Okay, I think we can follow our plan, right? Rook here, the queen here. Always, a suggestion is very important to avoid blunders. Always shortly ask, when your opponent makes a move, what is their plan? What are they threatening? So you have to check these things out. I do it in a way, at some point you do it automatically, but it's very good to do it when you start playing chess, to really get the habit to ask yourself, because then you will do automatically in your head. But at the beginning, you have to force yourself. What is my opponent threatening? Okay, we will do it for the next moves. We'll do a bit together with the next move, so we get together towards this habit. So my opponent had to do the idea, what is this knight threatening, to go here and to win the queen. That's why they moved the queen. Now the question is, are they threatening something with this queen here? Well, there is actually a threat. This queen is my queen is unprotected, and if this knight could move somewhere by giving a check, that would be really ugly. Let's imagine the king being here, the knight here actually wins the queen, because it's a knight here with check, and then the queen is hanging. So I have to be careful there. But there is not really a problem here, so I will just keep going with my plan. I'll give a check right now, and maybe I can go with the rook here and then bring the other rook to the action. Now, my opponent should ask, what are they threatening? Well, this is obvious because it's a check, so they have to move the queen somewhere. They have to be careful, because if they go here, they lose on the spot. What's the move, guys? I'm not going to tell you this move. You have to find out. You let me know in the comments. Okay, knight there. That's smart. Okay, I will go with the knight here. I'm attacking the queen. I surely was asking, what are they threatening? Well, the king and the queen were both attacking this knight. So if I don't move, I was thinking about rook e4, honestly, but the queen can just take. And then after bing, the knight can take, because there is a tactic, very cool here. If rook here, queen takes, and I take here, if the king takes, I'm taking the queen. So it would be like a very smart tactic. But unfortunately, the knight could also take there. Okay, now the queen. What is the queen attacking? To take on g7. Well, but the queen is not supported by any other piece, so the king could just take back. Now, I have the possibility to give a very annoying check here, and then to also take there, maybe. Or take the rook. Or take here. Well, I can't take here because there is the knight, actually. But I can take here and give a check. I didn't take the rook. I'm trying to give checkmate, basically, here. Oh! And my opponent just resigned. Okay, we'll play a last game. I revealed, you guys, my purpose. I mean, I had an idea in this video to play a gambit, but this was an epic fail. I wasn't able to show you any gambit, but I promise there were lots of you guys that they asked in the comments. Once I will play the Evans gambit, the King's gambit, the Queen's gambit, all those good openings that you asked me to play. Okay, let's go. D5. The pawns are looking at each other. I could actually go for a gambit here, but it doesn't really work in this position. No, unfortunately not. Okay, let's go with pawn takes. Now, the idea of the Scandinavian is that you are trading the central pawn, but at a big cost, because now your queen is stuck in the middle of the board. Now, I didn't play the obvious move knight here attacking the queen because this pawn was hanging. Now, my opponent is going really tricky because they are pinning this knight, meaning that this knight cannot be moved because if not, I lose the queen behind. But there is a problem because they are also attacking this pawn, right? But there is a problem for them because after bishop takes, sorry, boing, boom, it seems like they can win a pawn. Okay, this is just losing a piece. Isn't it just losing a piece or what? Okay, I just take with the knight and they lost a piece. Because after bishop takes, I can take with the knight or with the king. But I will take with the knight. And they lost a piece. I have 3 pieces, they have just 2. Oops. Okay, this pawn is a good pawn that I took, but it's fine. I can move my rook here, protected by the knight. I have now to develop really quickly all my pieces. And I will go with the bishop here because you're attacking the queen. This is tempo. If you've seen the previous days, I've already explained the concept of tempo. Tempo is when you're developing a piece and you're attacking one that has more value than the piece you moved. So the bishop has a value of 3, the queen has a value of 9. So my opponent has to move the queen again. So I have now the possibility to bring out another piece. And I will bring out, you know what? I will bring out the queen this time. Yes, I will bring out the queen this time. And the reason is that I don't want rook d8 to annoy my queen. So because if I just move the knight, there is rook d8 attacking the queen. Instead now, if there is rook d8, I can give a check here and maybe even win a pawn. Then I can develop this knight and go long castle. Well, I cannot go long castle if the rook is there, but maybe I'll go there. Okay, so now my opponent is giving a check, but I can simply cover it by developing. That's a dream. Now, if I can long castle even, that would be really amazing. Really a good position. Oh my god, this f6 stinks. Because, okay, I will say it like this, and I will say, oh no, my fork. Because if my opponent dares to play the move e5, forking my bishop and my queen, I play queen d7, checkmate. Okay, we'll play a very last game of this video. Let's see if we can play a gambit now. e4, e5. Oh, my opponent is actually playing a gambit. Okay, not really. It's okay. Guys, we will see no gambit during this game. But they are going out with the queen. So what we can do is attacking it with tempo. Now the queen has to go back and we have to develop all the pieces. How to do it? Knight here. Then we bring the bishop out. And then we castle. I have a question for you. Where would you go out with this bishop at the next move? There is some possibility. Usually in this e45 structure, the best square for the bishop to go is on c5. Because you're attacking the most vulnerable point. Also very good is to go on b4. Sorry, on b5 actually, because it's the idea of the Spanish, where you're attacking the knight. But usually like c5 is a very good square. But the problem in this position is that I cannot go on c5 because the queen is controlling the square. So where to go? I think I will have to go on b4. Especially if my opponent plays knight c3, then I can pin this knight and I'm ready to castle. Maybe I will attack this pawn. This looks very juicy. h3, that's not a move. That's not a good move. Why? My opponent wanted to protect his pawn, but there was really no need to do that. Okay, I'll go with the bishop here, giving a check. How is my opponent going to defend the check? There are so many ways. You can go with the bishop, with the knight, knight here, or with the pawn. Yeah, the pawn is quite cool, but now I go back here, and my bishop is ready to go there, attacking the queen, so this goes with tempo. And look at the difference between my pieces and my opponent's pieces. So, they didn't develop any piece except the queen. This is a huge mistake because I told you already before. The queen is not doing much alone. Now, the queen is attacking this pawn, but I can simply castle and defend it. Now, the only thing that you have to be careful about in this... Ooh, okay, guys, look at this. I'm taking here. And now if the queen takes, you see why it's bad to go out with your queen. Because now the queen is lost in the same file as the king. And the rook is looking at them saying, hello there, guys. What are you doing with your life? And the queen is saying, like... Okay, so what do we do now? We have to bring out also the latest piece. The last piece, not the latest. The bishop. We bring the bishop out. Traits are good. So we go here and we snap this knight. Now, where to go on? Okay, I will push this pawn just because it helps me to open even more files, diagonal, and I see an idea. Yeah, the idea is that now, if my opponent would have taken, I can take here and I'm attacking this rook. And if they don't take, I push forward. Now this bishop is pinned. They cannot move it because the king is behind. And yes, my next move is going to be checkmate. That's why my opponent resigned. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a bonus for you. Don't play for tricks. A tricky move is a move that can make you win quickly, but if your opponent plays well, you are in a worse or in a losing position. And today I wanted to play gambit, so I wanted to make the difference between a gambit and a trick, because a gambit is actually a move that once you sacrifice a pawn, and even if your opponent takes a pawn, you get something in exchange, which is different than materials. You don't get another pawn, but you get some sort of compensation. So you could get lots of active pieces. You could get an attack towards the king. And it can be generally lots of fun to play this. Now, let me know in the comments which gambit you want me to play in one of the next videos. I read all the comments. And there is a very fun video that I played yesterday. Day 4 was hilarious. And also I gave you a checklist of how to get to 1000 ELO in chess. You gotta watch this video if you miss it out. Bye guys. Thank you for watching.